And we're here. I want to be clear. I want to be extremely clear because I hear ruminations. I should, when I do these videos, I should always keep this door closed. Never had to worry about that downstairs because that's the hallway. And yes, I do have to trim out the door. There's no trim in this room at all because the trim we want is 5 inches high, and the shelves only have like a little tiny 3-inch cutout at the back of these shelves at the bottoms for smaller trim. So we're just going to butt the trim against the shelves when they're all in place. They are all in place, and I'll have to trim out the walls now. And I still have to fix that door because it's a little crooked. Yes, I want to fix the crookedness because it bothers me. And that's what this all comes down to. Things that bother me. And I will be the first to say, I'm not going to pat myself on the back. My entire life, and I don't know how long this tangent's going to take, and I'm sure I'm going to be interrupted because people are coming to pick up stuff. My entire life, and this starts when I was a small little boy, and I adore my parents. I want to be very clear about that. My parents are the best people on the planet. My mom's been gone for a bunch of years now, but my time wasn't mine. When I was growing up, yeah, in many cases it worked because I got to do a lot of stuff on my own, like the Gen X us. I mean, that's a whole other tangent. I would take another hour. We were left to our own devices so many times. Like, children should be seen, not heard. I mean, those whole things. Come back when the streetlights come on. All those Gen X things are 100% true, as far as what I've been told from people who aren't Gen X talking about Gen X, the forgotten generation. Sure, whatever. I would, on any given day, and it's also, I don't know if this is causation versus whatever nature, I mean, post hoc, ergo proctor hoc. I don't know how to translate that really well from Latin into English, but it basically means because of this result, this is what caused that result. Post hoc ergo. It's a fallacy, basically. It's like saying, there's this thing over here, therefore there was a murder over there. You see something over here, and it's like coming to the conclusion and fitting the facts that fit that conclusion. Post hoc, after, therefore, because of what happened before. It's just stupid things I learned. And I used to have a better way of explaining it. But so I don't know if my obliviousness and my ability to forget things stems from or was a result of. So let's just say it stems from this, or as a result of this, or I had it before this, and this is why everything unfolded in my life as it did. But just an example. I would come home from school, grade school, whatever, 6, 8, 10, whatever years old I am. I come home from school one day, and all of a sudden Mom says, "Okay, we're going." And I'm going, "What are we talking about?" What do you mean we're going? I had plans in my head. I was going to play Lego, sandbox, whatever. And this happens, everybody, when you're a kid. We're going to go do this. We're going to go help out that. We're going to go volunteer there. We're going to go do it. And I went along with it because it's my mom, and you don't talk back to your mom ever in our house. And so I just, whatever was in my head that I wanted to do was put on hold to, I don't want to use the word satiate, to satiate my parents' demands or wants or desires. That's not true at all. My parents were very, very accommodating to us kids, I think, more so than most of my friends' parents. My parents were very, very respectful of us. Again, in my opinion, you can ask my brother and sister, they might have different opinions, but when something was on their itinerary, something was on their schedule, it doesn't matter what you're going on in your life, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And usually it was a volunteer thing or civically oriented thing. And again, I appreciated it, and I fully support that. But it was never a question, Mom, I don't want to do that. No. No. No, you did not have an option. You go to do that. And so I was just used to from my childhood to know that plans are going to change literally at any moment. From my knowledge, from my perspective as a 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 13-year-old. Um, and it didn't end there. And this is, again, I'm not going to fault my mom for this. It's just how she thought. And the example I'm going to give is just one example. And again, there wasn't too many of these examples. But Christmas parade. Okay, so this is a textbook example, a specific example. I don't know which Christmas parade it was. 1980, we'll say 1980, so I'd be 13. But what had happened is I got a pup tent for Christmas. It was a canvas pup tent, like really old school 1970s pup tent. It did have a plastic liner sheet on the bottom, like it zipped up so the mosquitoes couldn't get in. It's like it wasn't like 1950s like you see in the movies with the flaps and you tie up the zap and the mosquitoes can get in, whatever, the canvas tents from the old timey movies. This was a nice pup tent. It had a blue top, yellow siding, and an orange tarp around the bottom. It's all beautiful sewed up. And again, vividly remember this, by the way. The downside to this pup tent, it had a little window in the back that on the outside you could roll up the canvas so you could see out and then roll it down if it's raining. Of course, when it starts raining, you have to go outside to close it. Walk around and undo the little. So this is 1970s. So they've since made tents better where you can zip up things from the inside. So I even thought that when I got the tent, I said, this is a bad manufacturing idea. Whoever designed this is an idiot. And even in the front, the mesh sewed up had zippers on it, zipped up, but the outside canvas you tied 2 little knots to close it. So you had to undo the zipper and then tie and of course it's raining and windy, whatever, you're trying to tie that up at 13, whatever, and then it's fine. I mean, it lasted a long time, and this is where the story comes in. We were doing a Christmas parade a few years later. And my mom says, I have to use Dave's pup tent on the float just because we have to make it look like a campfire or whatever, a camping, because little cubs are going to be, make a little fake campfire, a little fake tree there, and put the pup tent in the middle, blah, blah. So she grabs my pup tent and she takes it with her to the Christmas parade on Saturday, and it gets ruined. Of course it's going to get ruined. like it's obvious it's going to get ruined. It's on a float. And there's a bunch of 8-year-olds around it that are all like trying to stay steady and whatever on this float, whatever, and it gets wrecked. And again, it was not. Again, I don't want to say this is a dichotomy of my. Not to be selfish, that was given to me as a Christmas present from my parents, probably more than likely from my parents a couple years earlier. It was my pup tent, and I get attached to things that I really, really love, and especially things that. Because I adore camping, I had memories in that pup tent of camping at Manitoulin Island, at Tobermory, at the thousands of other campsites we went to for scuba diving and men's club and blah, blah. That was my tent. That's like my tent was used without permission. Again, we can get into that. Oh, parents should ask permission. Parents, I don't want to even talk about that. I was reasonably okay because I'm used to it now. My mom would do this kind of stuff. And again, you can say, oh, but whatever, you should stand up for yourself. It wasn't part of the cards, and I'm not going to fault my parents for that. But my tent did get ruined, and sorry, Dave, it got ruined. And I was like. But that was the expectation in the family, and people, oh, that's bad. In the grand course, the grand scheme of the worldwide issues of the world, my pup tent get ruined is like the stupidest thing to ever, like, get your knickers in a knot over. And I went out and I bought my old pump tent. I went over to Canadian Tire. I rode my bike down the Canadian Tire in Grimsby, and I bought my old pump tent. It was a really, really one of those low profile ones where you could sit up and your head would touch in the ceiling. It had a fly on it. It was one of those nylon, brand new nylon back then. Very, very light. It packed up into this little tiny bag that wasn't bigger than this kind of thing. And I could put it on my bike when we went on the bike camping, which is a fantastic thing to do when you're a teenager, because I had the saddlebags and everything. So I bought my old pump tent, and nobody else was ever allowed to use it, but that was mine. But the people say, well, that other tent was yours too. I don't want to get into that discussion. But the point here is I was used to, I was brought up to be, I won't say subservient, be aware that you walk into a situation and your parents are saying, you're going to do X, which was the same expectation they had from their parents, right? Because whatever, you do not defy authority if the authority is a good authority. Wow, the entire point of this just pooped out of my mind. I am, oh, this is where it's come down to. So, I told you all that to get to this point. I am used to just accepting things as they are, even if it is against what I was going to do in the first place, because that's the way I was brought up. Now, as I got older and I moved out on my own, I became very, very much, this is my stuff. Not to say this like I'm gonna fight you over for it, but this is my life now, and other people don't have to accommodate to me, but I'm not going to be as accommodating to other people. That's not the point of the story, but I think I'm very, very appreciative of other people's point of views, and I will try to adapt if it's worth adapting to. This is the compromise, and this isn't about my marriage, by the way. I adore my marriage. I am one of the luckiest guys on the planet. So, it's been 20. It'll be 20 to 19 years. Like it was 19 years. It'll be 20 years next year. I've been with Sandy for 22 years now, and we're still going strong. But I do know, and I've become cognitively aware of where when I start getting a little discombobulated, and a lot of it stems from how I was brought up. A lot of it stems from how I was raised, obviously. I have a huge sense, overwhelming sense of justice. I don't know why, my parents, that when something is wrong, it's wrong, period. And there's no discussion about how wrong. And then what's wrong, why it's wrong is my subjective opinion. We can go into that. But when I see something wrong, my hackles immediately get up. No matter what it is, even if it has nothing to do with me. I have an overwhelming sense of justice. I also have a huge, overwhelming sense of laziness, which is a huge combat all the time. But I am 58 years into this, and I'm very, very, I'm becoming very, very consciously aware of when I'm in one of these situations. And for the last bunch of years, and I think it became very, very apparent, when we put the wall up downstairs and separated the rec room from the leg room, we had an actual leg room. I started realizing I was getting very, very discombobulated. It's one of my other favorite words. We can talk about the negative orphan words because nobody's combobulated anymore, but people can be discombobulated, which is the opposite of being combobulated. But nobody said, hey, you're very combobulated today. But you can, hey, he's discombobulated. I'm discombobulated. I'm very, it's more than just discomfort. But I'll just use word discomfort so I don't have to use word discombobulated over and over. I'm finding myself cognitively, consciously, basically the same thing, aware of when I'm in a situation that's making me uncomfortable. Straight up. So when I'm in a situation, and it takes a lot to get me there, by the way, because again, how I was brought up was to be comfortable in almost any situation ever. That's the way my parents raised me. You can't, I hate this. It's damp outside, or there's too much sun, or it's too sandy, or whatever it is. You learn to enjoy the situation you're in, even if it's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is not discomfort. Uncomfortable means like, I got sand in my shoes, but I don't want to leave the beach, right? And so there's uncomfortable, and there's being discomforted about something, or discombobulated about something. Like, I'm uneasy. So it takes a lot for me to get to be uneasy, because I can be in almost any situation. People have seen me in almost every. I've walked into complete mayhem. Whatever. This is where my laissez-faire attitude comes in. Whatever. I'm here. What can I do now? So that's I think one of my saving graces, why people put up with me, because whatever. Hey, you want to do this? Yeah, whatever. I'll show up. So there's a difference between being uncomfortable and being discomforted. For me, the dividing line is what I'm willing to put up with in order to achieve whatever. So again, the analogy is you go to the beach and you get sand in your shoes. Well, that's uncomfortable, and you work on trying to get the sand out of your shoes. But you're at the beach. Yay, we're at the beach. Of course, who doesn't want to be at the beach? So you have to separate the stuff from the stuff. What I'm noticing about myself after 15 minutes of this conversation, what I'm noticing about myself is when I'm discomforted or discombobulated or uneasy, it's something I have to pay attention to. Before, I would just let it slide for a very, very long time. And then when the house of cards comes tumbling down at the big thing, instead of taking care of it at the beginning, get rid of the discomfort, or work on what can we do about the discomfort, not the uncomfortableness, because uncomfortable is part of life. It's too damp, it's too sunny, whatever, it's all part of life. Traffic's too bad. I've never had a problem with traffic literally ever in my life. When I was younger, anyway. I'll say that now. I keep on saying, I've said for years now, if I could get a job just driving and get paid what I get paid now, I'd do that job in a minute. I'll drive to BC. I'll drive to South America. I have no problem driving. It's just the unloading and whatever else goes along with the driving. But if you want somebody to just drive somewhere with no other criteria, including, oh, you have to be there in 2 days. I'm not Smokey and the Bandit. I'm not Cannonball Run. Old school shout outs. I don't rush me. I will get there. On my time. I love driving. I put the music on. If it's a dead stop, sure. Whatever. It will. Traffic is like weather. It will change, and you can't get mad at it. But I'm finding myself, when I come to a situation where I'm discombobulated or uncomfortable, I start looking at the root causes. And when we put the wall up downstairs and we put all the Lego that I owned into one room, I'm going, okay, it all fits in here. Okay, it's perfect. I'm comfortable. But and again, this is 100% me. I started buying a whole bunch of used lots and Value Village stuff, and then and of course you buy them in little tiny baggies at a time. You get a little thing like this, and you get, oh, okay, and then you start sorting the collection. All of a sudden, the collection gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you realize that you got 6 totes in the garage, and you got 5 totes under the stairs, and and again, I am not unique in this, by the way, in my list of Lego friends. That I started realizing, holy crap, honest to God, I have too much Lego. And to have an AFOL say that is extraordinary. Because other people looking in on this, and again, if you look at us AFOLs, or one thing, if you have an outside perspective about this, and people come to your house and again, it's bad when people make judgment calls. You have too much Lego. I've heard that. And you can't tell me that. This is my hobby, and I'll do whatever I GD well want. But for me, I now have too much Lego. Especially I knew it before, because you heard me talk about this before downstairs when we were in the Lego room downstairs. But when I moved into here, and I'm looking at what's not in here, I'm going, OMG. It's just, oh, this has got to stop. This is a major source of my discomfort, is how much Lego I have, especially knowing who I am and what I'm going to use in the future, what I know I'm going to be using in the future. I mentioned this before. We are part of a hobby. There are AFOLs out there, Lego builders out there, who only buy the parts they specifically need for the build they're going to build, and that's it. So they don't have any storage for miscellaneous Lego pieces. I admire that. It's not me. I need this. This makes me comfortable. But there's a 99.9% of the pieces in this room and out there I will never use in a build ever. But I don't know which 99% I'm going to use. So you have to have the spares. That's my justification. But I know for a fact now, and again, now that I'm cognizantly aware that this is important to me to get fixed, I'm fixing it. And I have a whole bunch of stuff up on Marketplace right now. But I'll show you a textbook example. So today, this bag here is 450 pieces of straight, old, dark gray train track. I always put them in bundles of two because it's just easier. 450 pieces. And I said, I put it up on Marketplace. And I actually went on Bricklink to see the average price, and I'm well below the average price for $450. This is $450 to me, for me, of what I think this is worth. Now, dark gray track sells between $2.50 a piece to $15, $20 a piece, depends on the age and whatever else they're selling. The ones that are $2 or $3 and below are damaged and crappy, whatever. Anything above that is just use, and you get to the new, which is $10 a piece, blah, blah. So I said $3 a piece times 150, so that's $450. If you want one of these pieces, I said $5, because I'm not going to start, whatever. If you want me to start taking these things apart and giving them to you, it's going to cost you more money. So this is half my straights. 150 pieces of train track in here. That's half my straight. And that's not even including the stuff I have in my layout. No, I don't have too many straight pieces in the layout, but I used to do huge train shows. But I'm not going to do huge train shows anymore. So I put that up. And then I did the same thing for curves. Now curves, because you always got lots, very sad. They're $1. Less than $1, they're 10 cents. So this is 100 pieces of train track curve, old dark gray curve pieces. Yay! Oh yeah, 40 cents. This is $40. 100 pieces, $40. So this, just doing that, getting those things up on Marketplace, and I'm sure they're going to be sold. I emptied one tote just by putting those two lots up on Marketplace. And now this is not all my train track, but this is my straight and curves in one box now. This is why I'm doing this. This is absolutely why I'm doing this. I want to get back to a comfort zone. I want this hobby to be comfortable to me. Other people want huge, vast, massively huge collections, and I admire and would want them to have that. I, at one point, wanted that too, but I do not have the time, space, and money for it. and I think I have spent the last year and a half, 2 years plus, and you see my videos, where I'm just constantly sorting or trying to find parts that I want. And I'm going, that's because it is too big. So it's not just time, space, and money, although more time. It's just the time that I'm not building because I'm too busy sorting and trying to find. And I'm going, that's got to stop. Because that's why I also want to make this video, because again, I think I started by saying this. There have been some ruminations, and I want to be extremely clear about this. I am perfectly healthy. I am not doing this because there's an end state in the near future. That I planned, this is my plan, I'm going to be 102. I've been saying it my entire life. Oh, they made it to 102, but Sadie says, like, oh, everybody sees an old person, oh, he's 102. I am going to be 102. So that is my end state. That's in my head. If you see it, if you envision it, it shall come to pass. And I'm going to be a healthy 102. June Lockhart just passed away, and for those of you who do not know Lost in Space, I feel sorry for you. Like, it's not even close to as great as Star Trek, whatever, but I loved Lost in Space back in the day. But June Lockhart played Mom, and she was in a few other things when I was growing up. She lived to be 100. I adore that. George Burns over 100. Dick Van Dyke's going to just surpass the rest of the world. He's 99 now. I don't see him stopping anytime soon. So it can happen. And in my head, that's my expectation. But from now until then, I want to be comfortable. So this exactly is why I'm downsizing. It's not for any other reason. To be clear to anybody out there, to be clear, I want my comfort. I want to be comfortable. And so that means that this room is it. Well, the layout in the garage, but that's it. And if it's not in this room, it's gone. And so I have to, and that's work from my part, and I don't mind putting the effort in. It's work on my part to get to the point where stuff can go out the door. Because I don't want this to be willy-nilly. But when I say to you, clearly, from me to you who are watching this, because most of the people watching this are my friends, that when I say you can come over here and grab what you want and we'll work out a price, I mean it, because I want it gone. I don't want to be taken for a bath, but I want it gone because I'm uncomfortable with what's not in here right now. That's the reason I'm doing this. So that was wonderful stories. Get to that point. I am putting my comfort first. Sorry, I am. So it is nothing beyond that. I am realizing by my nature versus nurture and how I grew up, why I am who I am. And I will always love and cherish and honor my parents for who they are and what they did for me. And I have no problem with what happened in my childhood for anything. I have I absolutely adore my childhood. I keep on saying I had, from my personal perspective, I had literally one of the best childhoods anybody could ever have had. So when I say that mom did this to my pup tent, it's not like, oh, I hate my mom, like some people do. Oh, that annoyed me, or that was against my inner self and my child was damaged. No, no, it was just part of life. And honest, and this is how I take it now. I was mad then. My pup tent's ruined. But 13-year-olds who fly off the handle. But there has been absolutely nothing that happened in my life at all that, no, absolutely not. I honor and cherish my parents so much because of who they are and who they were, to me and to the society at large. Like, you can't help but say my parents were awesome because the society told me my parents were awesome, and I knew it just by being with them. All the renos I did in this house, all the work I did for the last couple of weeks and for the last 22 years in this place, all the friends that I have. 27 minutes into this, going this really quick tangent today I didn't get into yesterday. You are who you hang around. Something my dad always told me since I was a little kid. Water reaches its own level. My dad always had these wonderful euphemisms. You are who you hang around. And I took that to heart. And my friends are the most astoundingly awesome people I know, including the people online, including you people online. And this is my whole point with how I want my life to be. I want to be surrounded by kind, decent, wonderful, fun people, which is what I have. And so I am blessed with the kind, wonderful, beautiful people that are in my life. And so we just talked about this yesterday, go off on this other quick tangent before somebody gets here and picks us up. I was, besides on TV, and I'm not saying I'm ensconced or protected. It's just how I conducted my life to be here at this day. Besides on TV, the number of times I saw illegal drugs personally, it's like 2 times in my life that I know of, that I remember. Textbook examples. College, second year. So at Mohawk, we just finished the Christmas exams, and my buddy, who was a returning student, he was like 40 at that time. He was a bartender and whatever, and he wanted to go back to school and take some computer stuff. Great guy, wonderful guy. And again, I do not have a problem with other people using recreational pharmaceuticals. I have at it. It never bothered me ever. So I'm not using this as disparaging. I happen to, you do you. Um, this buddy of mine, 40 years old, had his own house, was divorced, and beautiful house in Burlington. Hey guys, the exams are over. Yay! Come over to my place tonight after exams, and we'll have a shindig, a little party for final exams. And so I show up, and boxes of pizza. It's great. We put in $20 and whatever. Beer, sure. I didn't have one, but there was actual cocaine and there was actual marijuana there. And I'm going, huh? Like, I've seen this in movies. I've seen Scarface. It's like, and that's fine. Like, I didn't run out in terror. And it's not like they say, "Hey, Dave, you have to try this." No, they didn't. Nobody there. Oh, peer pressure. This is even in school. These are the people I hang around. It was there if you wanted to partake, if you wanted to imbibe. It was there, and I'm going, it's not for me. And nobody there said, "Oh, Dave, are you chicken?" Just like I would have left the door right there. And I walked around. We had a nice chat and whatever, and we watched whatever was on TV, whatever. I left pretty early because it's not my kind of party. Pizza was great. And I drove home and then that was it. Right. And this is, but the people I actually hang around with all the time since high school, I've never ever experienced that. I've never seen them with illegal substances. I've never had to worry about walking in on something that was untoward. We had some really wild bashes back in the day. Some pretty lot of drunken, especially when we lived at the pit. Don't get me wrong. I mean, nobody was like getting and whatever. But there's a couple people passed out. but they never had to worry about it because we're all kind, reputable people that wouldn't take advantage of the situation. Now, again, I'm not a woman, so but as far as I know, overall, there was no untowardness towards whatever during these parties. They were drunken mayhem sometimes, but nobody got into stupid territory ever, because these are the people I choose to hang around, and that comes from who my parents hung around. Now, thankfully my parents never had anything like that. Although we did have a fully stocked bar at the first house because my parents would always have people coming over from the various groups that they were belonged to, and we had this beautiful bar that my dad built. Us kids loved it because we would go to bed early, and then the next morning, we like Saturday morning or Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and there'd be like chips and cheesies and all that stuff downstairs. Still, because my parents didn't clean up till the next day. It was a great time. But nobody ever got into stupid trouble. Nobody ever had, as far as I know, nobody ever had to feel out of sorts at one of our bashes. Nobody ever had to worry that they'd be taken advantage of in their drunken stupor. So, and that didn't happen all the time, to be clear. But you in your 20s and you're living on your own. But I am, and I keep on saying this, I'm extremely blessed by the people who have been in my life that I wanted to be in my life. It seems that this is who I want to be around. And even to this day, I have friends across the country, out in BC, and on the East Coast, and even in the States, who some of them I've never met in person. Some I've met at a few brick conventions, who text me all the time and, "Hey Dave," and they send me these beautiful pictures or these beautiful videos of whatever they watch a video of mine and say, "Oh, Dave's interested," and they send it to me. This is what I want in my life. This makes me comfortable. Not discombobulated, is I don't want to worry about the people in my life doing something stupid, right? Now, if they do, that's entirely on them. But thankfully, so far, overall, 99.9% of the people I've had in my life as friends, as acquaintances, who people I hang around every day, have never jumped the shark, if you want to use that terminology. It's been wonderful. I've had a wonderfully blessed life. And I plan on having a wonderfully blessed life till I'm 102. So, but right now I'm working on getting back to a comfort zone. Because that's important to me, so I can keep on going on, hanging out with people I love. So anyway, 34 minutes, shorter video today. I need a drink. Everybody out there, stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.